Dr. Marcus Chen woke up to the taste of blood in his mouth and the sharp smell of burning metal. His shuttle had crashed on the rocky surface of Zerion 7, and smoke was rising from the broken engines behind him. He tried to move, but pain shot through his left arm. It was broken, but he was alive. Marcus pushed himself up slowly and looked around. The planet was cold and windy, with red rocks everywhere and a pale yellow sky. He had been studying alien plants when his shuttle's systems failed. Now he was stuck on this empty world with no way to call for help. He pulled out his medical kit and wrapped his broken arm. The pain was bad, but he had to keep moving. His scanner showed no life forms nearby, but it also showed something else. Another crashed ship was about 2 miles away. Marcus walked across the rough ground toward the other crash site. Maybe whoever was in that ship could help him, or maybe they needed his help. Either way, he had to check. When he reached the other ship, Marcus stopped and stared. It was beautiful and strange, made of some kind of purple metal that seemed to glow in the weak sunlight. The ship was much bigger than his shuttle and had a design he had never seen before. This was definitely an alien ship. He found a hole in the side where the crash had torn open the hull. Marcus climbed inside carefully. The inside was dark, but his flashlight showed corridors with smooth walls and strange symbols. Everything was built for someone much taller than humans. Marcus heard a weak sound coming from deeper in the ship. He followed the noise and found a large room that looked like a command center. Bodies lay scattered on the floor. They were tall aliens with purple-scaled skin and long limbs. They wore what looked like armor, but it had not saved them from the crash. In the center of the room, one alien was still alive. She was leaning against a broken console, breathing slowly. Blue blood was pooling around her on the floor. She was different from the others. Her scales were lighter purple, almost silver, and she wore finer clothes with gold details. Most importantly, she was still breathing. Marcus rushed to her side. The alien looked at him with large, dark eyes. She was beautiful in a strange way, with sharp features and silver markings on her face. She tried to speak, but only made soft sounds. Her blue blood was flowing from several deep cuts. Marcus had studied alien biology for years, but he had never seen this species before. Her blood was bright blue, not red like human blood. Her body temperature was lower than a human's would be, but she was clearly dying from blood loss, just like a human would. He pulled out his medical scanner and pointed it at her. The results made him gasp. According to his scanner, this alien's blood was somehow compatible with human blood. That was impossible. No alien species had ever been found with blood that could mix with human blood. The alien woman looked at him and made another weak sound. Her eyes were getting dim. She had maybe 10 minutes left to live. Marcus looked at his medical kit. He had blood bags and transfusion equipment for emergencies, but giving his blood to an alien could kill them both. Cross-species contamination was extremely dangerous. It could cause terrible reactions, organ failure, or death, but she was dying right now. And his scanner said their blood was compatible. Marcus had never seen his scanner be wrong about blood types. He made his choice. Marcus quickly set up the transfusion equipment. He found a vein in the alien's arm and inserted the needle. Then he found a vein in his own arm. The process was simple. He had done it many times for injured humans. His red blood flowed through the tube into her body. At first, nothing happened. Then her blue blood started to change color where his blood mixed with it. Instead of turning purple or black like he expected, it turned a bright green color. The alien woman's breathing got stronger. Her eyes became clearer. After 20 minutes, Marcus had given her almost half of his blood. He felt weak and dizzy, but she was clearly getting better. Suddenly, something strange happened. Marcus felt a warm feeling in his head, like someone was touching his thoughts. At the same time, the alien woman sat up straighter and looked directly at him. Her dark eyes seemed to be looking into his mind. She spoke, and somehow Marcus understood her words, even though she was not speaking English. "You once saved me. I can feel your thoughts." How is this possible? Marcus tried to answer, but found that his thoughts were reaching her mind directly. "I don't know. The transfusion created some kind of connection between us." The alien woman touched her wounds. They were healing much faster than they should have been. "My name is Zarathiel. I was a princess of the Vorthak Empire." "Who are you, strange one?" "I'm Dr. Marcus Chen from Earth. I'm human." Zarathiel's eyes widened. "Human, but humans are supposed to be weak creatures, small and soft. Yet your blood has made me stronger than I have ever been." Marcus could feel her confusion and amazement through their mental connection. He could also feel her strength returning as his blood worked through her system. But there was something else. Her thoughts felt different now, more complex. The transfusion was changing her in ways neither of them understood. "We need to get off this planet," Marcus said out loud. "My people will be looking for me. Yours will probably be looking for you too." Zarathiel stood up, moving with new energy. "Yes, but Marcus Chen of Earth, you must understand something. By saving my life, you have changed everything. The connection between us. It is not natural. It should not be possible." "Maybe not," Marcus replied, feeling dizzy from blood loss. "But it happened. And right now we need to survive." Zarathiel helped him stand. Through their connection, she could feel his weakness. "Rest, I will watch for rescue ships. Your blood has given me strength beyond measure." As Marcus rested against the broken console, he wondered what he had done. Saving her life had seemed like the right choice. But now they were connected in a way that defied all scientific understanding. He could feel her thoughts and emotions as clearly as his own. Through the connection, he sensed that Zarathiel was thinking the same thing. She was a warrior princess, trained to fight and conquer. But his blood was changing her thoughts, making her question things she had always believed. Neither of them knew that this moment would change the course of galactic history. A simple act of compassion between two different species had created something entirely new. Something that would shake the foundations of the Vorthak Empire and challenge everything both their peoples believed about themselves and each other. For now, they just waited for rescue. Two unlikely survivors connected by blood and circumstance on a cold, empty world. 3 days later, rescue ships arrived at Zerion 7. Both human and Vorthak vessels had been searching for their missing people. When they found Marcus and Zarathiel together, both sides were confused and suspicious. The humans could not believe their scientist had survived by helping an alien. The Vorthaks could not understand why their princess was still alive when her guards were dead. But neither side could argue with the facts. Both Marcus and Zarathiel were alive, and they claimed the other had helped them survive. The rescue teams brought them to New Geneva, a neutral space station where humans and aliens could meet safely. Dr. Sarah Kim, the station's best doctor, took charge of their medical care. She had treated many different alien species before, but she had never seen anything like this. "This is impossible," Dr. Kim said as she looked at the test results. "Princess Zarathiel's blood shows human DNA mixed with her own, but instead of rejecting it, her body is using it to rebuild itself." Marcus sat on a medical bed while Dr. Kim took more blood samples. He still felt weak from giving so much blood to Zarathiel, but he was recovering. "What do you mean, rebuilding?" "Look at these scans," Dr. Kim showed him pictures on her computer. "Her muscles are growing stronger. Her bones are becoming denser. Her brain activity has increased by 30%. The human blood is not just keeping her alive. It is making her better than any Vorthak has ever been." In the next room, Zarathiel was having her own tests done. She could hear Marcus and Dr. Kim talking through the mental connection they shared. Everything they discovered about her changes she felt as well. The connection between them was getting stronger too. At first they could only sense each other's basic emotions. Now they could share thoughts and even memories. When Marcus remembered his childhood on Earth, Zarathiel could see it as clearly as if she had been there. Dr. Kim noticed this too. "You two are communicating without speaking. That should not be possible between different species. Many things that should not be possible have happened since the transfusion," Zarathiel said. She was sitting up in her medical bed, looking healthier than she had ever been. "I can feel Marcus's thoughts. I can see his memories of Earth. Your people are not what we were taught." "What were you taught about humans?" Dr. Kim asked. "That you are weak. That you have no honor. That you are barely intelligent animals who got lucky with technology." Zarathiel looked ashamed. "But through Marcus's mind, I have seen your history. Your wars, your art, your science. You are not weak at all." Marcus could feel her confusion through their connection. Everything she had believed about humans was wrong. The Vorthak Empire had taught their people that humans were inferior in every way, but now she had human blood in her veins and it was making her stronger than any Vorthak warrior. Dr. Kim continued her tests for several days. Each day brought new discoveries. Zarathiel's healing speed was incredible. Cuts that should have taken weeks to heal disappeared in hours. Her physical strength was now 3 times greater than a normal Vorthak. Most amazing of all, She was becoming immune to diseases that had killed millions of her people. Human stem cells, Dr. Kim explained to them both. They are incredibly adaptable. When they mixed with Vorthak biology, they started fixing genetic problems that have existed in your species for thousands of years. But the good news was mixed with bad news. Ships from the Vorthak Empire had arrived at New Geneva. They were not rescue ships. They were warships, and they carried a message from Emperor Cosmor, Zarathiel's father. The message was simple and angry. The Emperor demanded the return of his daughter immediately. He claimed that the humans had poisoned her with their inferior blood. He wanted her brought back to the Empire for purification, a process that would remove all traces of human blood from her system. Marcus and Dr. Kim both knew what that meant. The purification process would probably kill Zarathiel. Her body had adapted to the human blood. Removing it now would destroy all the improvements it had made. "I will not go," Zarathiel said when she heard her father's message. "I am not poisoned. I am improved." But through their mental connection, Marcus could feel her fear. She was afraid of her father's anger. She was afraid of what the Empire might do to Marcus if she refused. Most of all, she was afraid of the changes happening inside her own mind. The human blood was not just changing her body. It was changing how she thought about everything. She was starting to question the Vorthak way of life. Why did they spend so much time fighting wars? Why did they treat other species as inferior? Why did they have a system where some Vorthaks were treated as slaves while others lived like kings? These were dangerous thoughts for a Vorthak princess. Her people believed that strength was the only thing that mattered. The strong ruled and the weak served. But human memories flowing through her mind showed her different ways to live. On Earth, humans had struggled with the same questions. They had fought wars about freedom and equality. They had slowly learned that cooperation was often stronger than domination. Not always and not perfectly, but they had tried to build better societies. "Your father will not give up," Marcus said to her. "The Vorthak fleet is getting bigger every day." It was true. More warships arrived each day surrounding New Geneva. The space station was supposed to be neutral territory, but the Vorthaks were making it clear that they would take their princess back by force if necessary. Dr. Kim was worried too. The station cannot fight the entire Vorthak fleet. If they attack, thousands of people will die. Zarathiel felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. She could feel Marcus's concern for the innocent people on the station. She could feel Dr. Kim's fear for her patients. Through the mental connection, she was learning to care about people she had never met. This was another change the human blood had brought. Vorthaks were taught to care only about their own clan and family. But humans seemed to care about strangers, even aliens they had just met. Marcus had risked his life to save her when he did not even know her name. "I have to go back," she said finally. "If I do not, my father will destroy this station." "No," Marcus said firmly. "There has to be another way." But even as he said it, both of them knew the truth. The Vorthak Empire did not negotiate. They took what they wanted or they destroyed it. Emperor Cosmor would not be satisfied until his daughter was back under his control. That night, as Zarathiel prepared to return to her father's ship, she and Marcus shared their thoughts and fears through their connection. Both of them knew this might be the last time they could speak freely. "Whatever happens," Marcus told her, "remember what you have learned. Remember that there are other ways to live." "I will remember," she promised. "And Marcus, remember this. The connection between us will not be broken by distance. I will find a way to use what you have given me." Neither of them knew that Zarathiel was already planning something that would shake the Vorthak Empire to its foundations. The human blood in her veins had given her more than strength and healing. It had given her hope for a better future. Back on the Vorthak Imperial ship, Zarathiel was treated like a prisoner rather than a princess. Her father, Emperor Cosmor, was a massive Vorthak with dark purple scales and cruel yellow eyes. He looked at his daughter with disgust and anger. "Look what those weak humans have done to you," he said, studying the medical reports. "Your blood is contaminated. Your thoughts are confused. But we will fix this." Zarathiel said nothing, but through her mental connection with Marcus, she shared everything she saw and heard. Marcus was still on New Geneva, but their bond was strong enough to work across space. He could see through her eyes and feel her emotions. The Emperor's plan was simple. Vorthak scientists would drain all her blood and replace it with pure Vorthak blood from the royal bloodline. They believed this would remove the human contamination and restore her to normal, but Dr. Kim's research had shown that this would kill her. Her body had adapted to the human blood. Her new strength and healing abilities depended on it. Without it, her enhanced systems would shut down. "Father," Zarathiel said carefully, "perhaps we should study this change before removing it. I am stronger now than any Vorthak warrior. Is that not valuable to the Empire?" "Strength from inferior blood is not real strength," the Emperor replied. "It is weakness disguised as power. You will be purified tomorrow." That night, alone in her guarded room, Zarathiel used her mental connection with Marcus to share everything she had learned about the Empire. Through her eyes, he saw the truth about Vorthak society. The Empire was built on a strict hierarchy. At the top were the royal family and the warrior class. Below them were the workers who built ships and weapons. At the bottom were the slaves, Vorthaks who had been captured in civil wars or who had committed crimes against the state. Marcus was shocked by what he saw through their connection. "Your people keep other Vorthaks as slaves?" "Yes," Zarathiel replied through their mental link. "It has always been this way. The strong rule and the weak serve. But seeing your memories of Earth's history, I wonder if there might be better ways." Marcus shared his memories of humanity's long struggle against slavery and oppression. He showed her how humans had slowly learned that societies worked better when everyone was free to contribute their best abilities. As they shared these thoughts, something unexpected happened. The mental connection between them suddenly became much clearer and stronger. They could not only share thoughts and memories, but they could also see deeper truths. Through this enhanced connection, they discovered something amazing. Hidden in both their genetic codes were similar patterns, sequences of DNA that were almost identical despite coming from different worlds. "We are related," Zarathiel whispered in amazement. "Humans and Vorthaks came from the same ancestors." The discovery explained everything. Millions of years ago, an ancient species had traveled across the galaxy, settling on many different worlds. On Earth, they had evolved into humans. On the Vorthak homeworld, they had evolved into Vorthaks. But deep in their genes, they still carried the same basic patterns. This was why the blood transfusion had worked. This was why they could form a mental connection. They were not completely different species. They were distant cousins who had evolved apart for so long that they had forgotten their shared origin. "Your blood does not contaminate me," Zarathiel realized. "It awakens parts of my genetics that have been sleeping for millions of years." Marcus understood immediately. "And your blood would probably do the same thing for humans. We could both become stronger by working together." But this discovery also brought danger. If the Emperor learned that humans and Vorthaks were related, he would see it as proof that his daughter had been permanently damaged. He believed that Vorthaks were superior to all other species. The idea that they shared ancestors with weak humans would drive him into a murderous rage. The next morning, Zarathiel was brought to the medical bay for the purification process. But she was no longer the same obedient princess who had left the Empire weeks ago. The human blood had not just made her stronger physically. It had awakened her sense of justice and her ability to see beyond Vorthak. "Traditions. I refuse," she said when the doctors tried to strap her to the medical table. The doctors looked shocked. "Princess, your father has ordered this treatment." "My father is wrong," she said simply. Emperor Cosmore arrived within minutes, furious at his daughter's rebellion. "You will submit to purification, or you will be treated as a traitor to the Empire." "Then I am a traitor," Zarathiel replied. The Emperor's rage was terrible to see. He struck her across the face with enough force to kill a normal Vorthak. But Zarathiel's enhanced strength absorbed the blow easily. She did not even fall down. "Impossible," the Emperor whispered. "No one is stronger than the royal bloodline." "I am," Zarathiel said. "And I am not the only one who could be." She could feel Marcus watching through their connection. She could feel his human determination flowing through her mind. On Earth, humans had overthrown kings and emperors who abused their power. They had fought for freedom even when the odds seemed hopeless. "What are you talking about?" the Emperor demanded. Zarathiel looked around the medical bay at the doctors and guards. Many of them were from the lower classes of Vorthak society. They had never questioned the Emperor's authority, but she could see doubt in their eyes. "I am talking about change," she said. "I am talking about a future where strength comes from cooperation, not domination." where all Vorthax can reach their full potential, not just the royal family. The Emperor ordered his guards to force her onto the medical table. But when they tried to grab her, Zarathiel fought back with skills that combined Vorthak warrior training with human tactical thinking that Marcus fed her through their bond. She moved faster than any Vorthak the guards had ever seen. She struck with precision that disabled rather than killed. In 30 seconds, 6 elite guards were unconscious on the floor. "This is what the human blood has given me," she announced to everyone in the room. Not weakness, but strength beyond imagination. Not contamination, but evolution. The Emperor drew his own weapon, a plasma sword that could cut through metal. "Then I will kill you myself and tell the Empire that the humans murdered my daughter." "Father," Zarathiel said sadly, "you still do not understand. I am not your enemy. I am trying to save our people." But the Emperor was beyond reason. He attacked with all the skill of centuries of combat experience. The battle was fierce and brutal, destroying much of the medical bay. However, Zarathiel had advantages her father could not match. Through her connection with Marcus, she could anticipate attacks before they came. Her enhanced reflexes let her move faster than the Emperor expected. Most importantly, she fought not just with Vorthak aggression, but with human creativity and adaptability. The fight ended when Zarathiel disarmed her father and held his own sword to his throat. Everyone in the medical bay stared in shock. No one had ever defeated the Emperor in single combat. "I do not want to kill you," she said. "I want to lead our people to a better future. Will you let me try?" The Emperor's answer was to activate a hidden device that sent an alarm throughout the ship. Within moments, hundreds of loyal guards would arrive to capture or kill his rebellious daughter. But Zarathiel was no longer afraid. She had human courage flowing through her veins, and she had a plan that Marcus had helped her develop. The real revolution was about to begin. When the guards rushed into the medical bay, they found something they had never expected to see. Their Emperor was on the ground, defeated by his own daughter. Princess Zarathiel stood over him, holding his weapon, but she was not alone. The doctors and medical staff who had witnessed the fight were standing with her. They had seen her enhanced abilities, and they had heard her words about a better future. For the first time in their lives, some of them dared to hope for change. "Guards, arrest this traitor," the Emperor ordered from the floor, but Zarathiel spoke before they could move. "I am not a traitor. I am your future Empress, and I offer all of you a choice." She looked around the room at the dozens of armed guards. Most of them were from the worker class, Vorthax who had joined the military as their only path to a better life. You can serve an Emperor who sees you as tools to be used and thrown away, or you can serve an Empress who will give every Vorthak the chance to become their best self. Through her mental connection with Marcus, she drew on human history. She remembered the words of great leaders who had inspired people to fight for freedom. She spoke with passion and conviction that no Vorthak had ever heard from their rulers. "The human blood in my veins has shown me what we could become," she continued. "Not just strong, but wise. Not just warriors, but builders. Not just conquerors, but explorers who bring knowledge back to benefit all our people." Some of the guards lowered their weapons. They had never heard a member of the royal family speak about caring for common Vorthax. The Emperor struggled to his feet, his face twisted with rage. "Kill her now or face execution for treason." But Captain Vexistar, the leader of the guard unit, did something unexpected. He removed his helmet and knelt before Zarathiel. "I have served your father for 20 years. I have seen him order the deaths of thousands for small offenses. If you truly offer a better way, I will follow you." One by one, other guards began to kneel. Not all of them. Many remained loyal to the Emperor, but enough to show that Zarathiel's words had power. The Emperor realized he was losing control. He activated his personal communicator and sent a message to the other ships in the fleet. "The princess has been infected with alien mind control. All ships are to prepare for immediate attack on New Geneva. We will destroy the human poison at its source." This was exactly what Zarathiel had been afraid of. Through her connection with Marcus, she felt his alarm as Vorthak warships began powering their weapons. "You will start a war that will kill millions," she told her father. "Better that than let human weakness spread through our empire," he replied. But Zarathiel had prepared for this moment. Working with Marcus through their mental link, she had developed a plan based on human techniques for revolution and resistance. "Captain Vextar," she said, Take your loyal guards and secure the communication center. Send a message to every ship in the fleet. What message, Princess? Tell them that I challenge my father for the throne according to the old laws. Everyone in the room gasped. The ancient Vorthak tradition of trial by combat for leadership had not been used in over 1,000 years. But it was still part of their legal code. The Emperor's eyes widened with understanding and fear. You cannot. The challenge must be accepted by the sitting ruler. Then accept it, Zarathiel said simply, or admit that you are too weak to face your own daughter in fair combat. This put the Emperor in an impossible position. If he refused the challenge, he would look like a coward to his own fleet. Vorthak culture demanded that leaders prove their strength through combat. But if he accepted, he would have to fight his daughter again, and she had already defeated him once. Through the ship's communication system, Captain Vextar broadcast Zarathiel's challenge to the entire fleet. The response was immediate and electric. Thousands of Vorthak warriors had heard the story of the princess who had gained incredible power from human blood. Now they would see for themselves if the stories were true. I accept, the Emperor said through gritted teeth. We fight to the death. No, Zarathiel replied. We fight until one of us yields. I do not want to kill you, Father. I want to save you and our people from a future of endless war. The combat arena on the flagship was huge, designed to hold ceremonies for the entire crew. Within an hour, every Vorthak in the fleet was watching through video links as father and daughter faced each other in ritual combat. The Emperor was a master warrior with centuries of experience. He had killed dozens of challengers over the years. He was larger and stronger than Zarathiel, and he fought with the fury of someone who believed his entire worldview was under attack. But Zarathiel had advantages he could not understand. The human blood had given her enhanced speed and reflexes. More importantly, her mental connection with Marcus allowed her to fight with a combination of Vorthak aggression and human tactical intelligence. Marcus watched the battle through her eyes, feeding her strategic advice based on human military history. When the Emperor used traditional Vorthak attack patterns, Marcus helped her recognize them and counter with unexpected moves. He is favoring his left side, Marcus told her through their mental link. He has an old injury there. His fighting style is based on intimidation, Marcus observed. Stay calm and wait for openings. Use his strength against him, Marcus advised. Human martial arts teach that a smaller fighter can defeat a larger one through superior technique. The battle was brutal and lasted for over an hour. Both fighters bled from dozens of wounds, but gradually Zarathiel's advantages began to tell. Her enhanced healing meant she recovered from injuries faster than her father. Her improved reflexes let her avoid his most dangerous attacks, and her human-influenced tactical thinking allowed her to outmaneuver his brute force approach. The end came when the Emperor, exhausted and bleeding, made a desperate final attack. Zarathiel used a move that Marcus had taught her from human martial arts, redirecting his charge and sending him crashing into the arena wall. The Emperor lay on the ground, conscious but unable to continue fighting. Tradition demanded that Zarathiel kill him to claim the throne. Instead, she offered him her hand. Rise, father, she said. You fought with honor. Now let me lead our people with wisdom. The arena was completely silent. No one had ever seen a Vorthak victor show mercy to a defeated opponent. The Emperor looked at his daughter's outstretched hand for a long moment. Then slowly he reached up and allowed her to help him stand. You are no longer my daughter, he said quietly. You are my empress. The roar from the arena and the watching fleet was deafening. Zarathiel had not just won a fight, she had shown a new way to lead. Strength without cruelty. Victory without vengeance. Through her mental connection, she felt Marcus's pride and relief. Together, they had taken the first step toward changing an entire civilization. But both of them knew this was only the beginning. Now came the much harder task of actually transforming the Vorthak Empire. Empress Zarathiel's first act was to stop the attack on New Geneva. Her second act was to invite Marcus aboard the flagship as her chief advisor. Many of the Vorthak officers were shocked to see a human walking freely through their most secure ship. But none dared question their new empress. This is going to be harder than winning the fight, Marcus said privately to Zarathiel as they stood on the bridge of the massive warship. I know, she replied through their mental connection. My people have lived one way for thousands of years. They will not change easily. But Zarathiel had advantages that previous rulers had never possessed. The human blood in her veins had given her not just physical enhancements, but new ways of thinking about leadership in society. Through Marcus, she had access to thousands of years of human experience with different forms of government. Her first major decision was to free the Vorthak slaves. This caused an immediate uproar among the noble class, who claimed that the economy would collapse without slave labor. "Then we will build a better economy," Zarathiel announced to the assembled nobles, one based on innovation and cooperation instead of oppression. To prove her point, she established the Symbiosis program. Working with Dr. Kim and other human scientists, they began careful experiments to replicate the blood bonding process that had transformed Zarathiel. The process was voluntary and required genetic compatibility, but when it worked, the results were amazing. Vorthaks gained human adaptability and creative thinking. Humans gained enhanced physical abilities and longer lifespans. Most importantly, each bonded pair developed the same mental connection that linked Marcus and Zarathiel, the first successful pair after Marcus, and Zarathiel was Captain Vextar and Dr. Sarah Kim. The tough Vorthak warrior and the gentle human doctor seemed like an unlikely team, but their bonding created something extraordinary. Vextar gained not just human resilience, but human compassion. Dr. Kim gained not just Vorthak strength, but Vorthak courage. "It is like seeing the universe through new eyes," Vextar reported after the bonding process. "I understand now why humans value cooperation over conquest." Within months, hundreds of volunteers from both species had undergone the bonding process. Each success created a living example of what Vorthaks and humans could accomplish together. But not everyone was happy with the changes. General Korthax, the former emperor's most loyal supporter, began gathering other traditionalist Vorthaks who opposed the new empress. They believed that the human influence was making their species weak and soft. "We are warriors," General Korthax declared to his secret followers. "We were meant to rule the galaxy through strength, not serve aliens through weakness." The rebels struck while Zarathiel was visiting New Geneva to expand the Symbiosis program. They seized control of 3 major Vorthak worlds and declared that the Empress had been corrupted by alien poison. General Korthax claimed the throne for himself and ordered all human-bonded Vorthaks to surrender for purification. "They have made a serious mistake," Marcus said when news of the rebellion reached them. "How so?" Zarathiel asked. "They are fighting the old way with brute force and traditional tactics, but we have something they do not understand." Marcus was right. The bonded pairs had abilities that neither pure humans nor pure Vorthaks possessed. When Zarathiel led her loyal forces against the rebels, the difference was immediately obvious. The bonded pairs moved and fought like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. They combined Vorthak strength with human creativity, Vorthak honor with human flexibility. Most importantly, their mental connections allowed them to coordinate their actions with perfect teamwork. In the decisive battle over the rebel stronghold of Vex Mira, General Korthax led a force of 50,000 traditional Vorthak warriors against Zarathiel's army of 10,000 bonded pairs and their supporters. The battle was over in 6 hours. The bonded pairs fought with a level of coordination that seemed almost supernatural. They anticipated each other's moves, shared tactical information instantly, and adapted to changing situations faster than any military force in galactic history. General Korthax himself faced Zarathiel in single combat. Confident that his traditional training would overcome her corrupted abilities, he discovered too late that the Empress had learned not just human tactics but human psychology. She defeated him not through superior strength, but by understanding his attack patterns better than he understood them himself. After the rebellion was crushed, something unexpected happened. Instead of executing the defeated rebels, Zarathiel offered them a choice. They could remain in prison, or they could volunteer for the Symbiosis program themselves. "You cannot be serious," General Korthax said from his cell. "You want us to poison ourselves with human blood?" "I want you to see what I have seen," Zarathiel replied, "to understand what we could become together." To everyone's surprise, about half of the rebels chose to try the bonding process. Most of them, including General Korthax, were genetically compatible with human volunteers. The transformation was remarkable. Korthax was bonded with Dr. James Wright, a human historian who specialized in studying peaceful conflict resolution. The gruff Vorthak general gained access to thousands of years of human knowledge about diplomacy and cooperation. I was wrong, Korthax admitted after his bonding was complete. I thought human influence would make us weak. Instead, it has made us complete. As news of the Vorthak transformation spread throughout the galaxy, other species began to take notice. The peaceful Zelanti Federation was fascinated by the possibility of similar partnerships with humans. The aggressive Hive Collective saw the Human-Vorthak Alliance as a potential threat to their own expansion plans, but Zarathiel and Marcus had bigger plans than just transforming one empire. Using their combined knowledge of galactic history and archaeology, they began searching for other species that might share the same ancient genetic heritage. They found them. On 17 different worlds, they discovered species that carried genetic markers similar to humans and Vorthaks. All of them were descendants of the same ancient civilization that had spread across the galaxy millions of years ago. Some of these species were peaceful traders like the Zelanti. Others were fierce warriors like the Korthani. A few were brilliant scientists like the Nixari, but all of them carried the genetic potential for symbiotic bonding with humans. We are not just changing the Vorthak Empire, Marcus realized as they prepared for their first diplomatic mission to contact these cousin species. We are rebuilding the ancient civilization that created us all. The expedition to make contact with their genetic cousins included representatives from dozens of species, both bonded and unbonded. Their ship, appropriately named the Unity, was a marvel of combined human and Vorthak technology. As they traveled toward the galactic core where their ancient ancestors had first evolved, Zarathiel and Marcus reflected on how far they had come from that desperate moment on Zarian 7. "Do you ever regret giving me your blood?" Zarathiel asked through their mental connection. "Never," Marcus replied. "That was the moment we changed the course of galactic history." "No," Zarathiel corrected him. "That was the moment we proved that compassion is stronger than fear, and cooperation is stronger than conquest." Behind them, the transformed Vorthak Empire continued to grow and prosper. Ahead of them, 17 species waited to be reunited with their long-lost cousins. And throughout the galaxy, other civilizations watched and wondered what this alliance of unlikely partners might accomplish next. The simple act of one human sharing his blood with a dying alien had indeed changed the course of galactic history, but more than that, it had proven that the best of humanity, their compassion, their creativity, their refusal to give up hope, could inspire others to become the best versions of themselves. As the Unity jumped to faster-than-light speed, heading toward adventures that would reshape the galaxy, Marcus and Zarathiel knew that their story was just beginning. They had shown that different species could not just coexist, but could become something greater together than either could be alone. The future belonged to cooperation, understanding, and the courage to help a stranger in need.